It is not very often that I find a knife that just provides unbelievable levels of material quality, build quality, and performance for such a low price. However, it's also not very often that I have a knife that I recommend so strongly with a massive caveat, and that is the OK Knives OK Model 229. What I have to say about this very, very quickly is that this knife exists in a very morally gray area, although many people will not find it morally gray at all, as is the case with morally gray concepts. Some will just be outright against it, and some will be outright for it. And no, it's not even just that this is a obvious copy, maybe even a clone, again, full video coming on the distinctions eventually, of a Spyderco Shaman, but the parent company of OK Knives themselves, because while they do produce knives with their own logos, like what you see here, and they are fantastic knives, they're also one of the lead producers in quality knockoffs. And when I say knockoffs, I mean actual counterfeits. OK Knives are known for making fake Spydercos, Benchmade, zero tolerances, so many different things with the official logos on them. And so when you buy a knife, even one that does sport this company's OK logo, you are also supporting a counterfeiter, even when you're not buying counterfeit merchandise. So it's very, very tough. It's very awkward, because what I have to say about this knife is that it's absolutely incredible. What I have to say about this company is that they take care of their customers. But it's super hard to give a full glowing endorsement of it because of the morality of supporting counterfeiters. We'll have a similar situation whenever I review a green thorn knife that I have coming in the mail. Um, it's really awkward. So what I have to say is judge for yourself. If you're of the mindset that, you know what, as long as I'm not buying the counterfeits, I'm just buying the ones branded with the company's honest to goodness logo, then I'm not doing anything wrong. Then buy this knife without hesitation. Don't even finish watching this review. Just go buy it, because it is that absolutely incredible, especially because as of right now, and honestly for the last couple of months, they've been on sale for a killer deal. Absolutely killer deal. If your mindset is, no, I don't want to give money to a company that counterfeits whatsoever under any circumstances, obviously skip it. I'm a reviewer. I like to find great deals. I'm mostly focused on budget knives. And yeah, this one's awkward because it's fairly budget, especially when on sale, considering what you get. Packaging is actually really nice and kind of classy. You get this little zipper pouch, and the knife will come shrink wrapped. And you can see you'll have all, model 229 CFP M390 made in China. That's right. This is a carbon fiber handled M390 steel blade that on sale right now you can get for between $40 and $50 depending on what promotion they're running at the moment. Full retail price I think is about $70 or $80. It's worth $70 or $80. If you had to pay full price, this knife is worth it all day long. At the lower price point of like $40 or $50, it's worth it without even thinking, because wow, what a knife. Let's jump into this. As I mentioned, it's a copy of a Spyderco Shaman, maybe even outright into clone territory. They didn't change much. The dimensions are a little bit different, and we obviously have a more rectangular hole, but everything else about the overall design, the locking mechanism, it is all lifted straight from the Spyderco Shaman, which is to say it's an excellent design. What is the blade steel on this? Well, you can see it when the knife is closed. M390. And if you're wondering, well, is that real M390? A lot of Chinese companies will just stamp whatever they want on the blade, like my EDC today, which is this Huangfu knife. I've reviewed a few of this company's knives. I would call this one their Scout, and it claims S35VN, and my cutting testing with this says, nope. I would hazard a guess this is really 7CR17 MOV, based on heavy cardboarding. So how do I know that this is real M390? Well, very simply, a lot of careful testing with it. Against very thick cardboard, I took this knife, a Cold Steel and S35VN, and my Chris Reeve Sebenza 31 in Magna Cut, and did an equal number of cuts with it. What I found is that this held an edge better than my Cold Steel, slightly below my Chris Reeve. And what that tells me, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not a steel expert, I think M390 is supposed to have superior edge holding to Magna Cut. So maybe they're not getting quite the most out of the heat treat on the M390 as they can, but they're getting a hell of a lot out of it because it beat the Cold Steel's S35VN readily. So yes, I believe them when they say this is M390. It performed incredible. It held a really nice edge. It wasn't all that difficult to get back to hair-popping razor sharp. It just took a little bit of time. Just absolutely killer performance. Obviously, it's a leaf-shaped blade, 3.5 inches long, nearly a full flat ground. It has a slight upper flat, as you can see, but it does extremely well in its slicing. A nice satin finish there. Out of the zipper pouch, they come hair-shaving razor sharp. Absolutely phenomenal job from OK Knives on that. Really, really impressive stuff. You can see that it is numbered 148. I don't know how many they made. I think they make these in batches. I know that they do make this exact same knife with a white carbon fiber handle in M390, as well as a white carbon fiber handle in S35VN. I believe those are sold out at the moment. So this is the one you're more likely to find. They also have a titanium handled version. We're just looking at this one at the moment. But absolutely killer blade. It does a great job. It really slices. It's a great steel. The deployment and lockup on this is where I want to bring up the customer service. Because first things first, it deploys incredibly smoothly. It's riding on a bearing system in that pivot point. Okay, and it just comes out readily. You can do a spidey flick with it, thumb flick, whatever you want to do. You can even use that like a front flipper if you really like front flippers, because the jimping is so purposeful that exposed bit of tang is super easy to get a grip on. It just comes out readily. The lockup is where I had to contact customer service, because on this one, it's tight side to side. You see it as a compression lock, but up and down, maybe you can't hear it. I have to really rock it, but when I really rock it, I can get a little bit of up and down play. And I was curious, how would their customer service respond to this? So I contacted them, and they asked for a video where I demonstrate the issue, and I did manage to make it audible on that video, the up and down play, so they could hear it kind of rock a little bit. And their solution was just to send me a whole replacement knife and let me keep the original. Yep. And bringing this in here, I can actually demonstrate why this one had vertical play. If we bring in the knives and look at the compression locks, you can see the timing is too late on this one. And yes, it was like that before all the cardboard cutting. That's not from wearing in. This one's been put through quite a bit of use just to test the consistency of the heat treat. It performed identically to the first one. Compression lock hasn't moved, so it was a lock bar timing issue. So yeah, I would say customer service is excellent. By the way, lockup on this one, bank vault solid. This one came a little grittier out of packaging, but after some carry and use, it smoothed right up. So I would say deployment and lockup are excellent with that caveat, but customer service is absolutely outstanding. Handles, like I mentioned, are carbon fiber, and it's not a laminated carbon fiber. It's not like a layer of, like mostly G10 and then a layer of carbon fiber on top. This is honest-to-God carbon fiber all the way around. And we have some stainless steel liners inside that have been skeletonized. Maybe you could see that. There you go. Very, very comfortable handle, honestly. 4.7 inches in length, so you have a good enough amount of handle to hold on to. The carbon fiber provides adequate traction. That jimping, as I mentioned, provides insanely good traction. It's also on the finger choil, so you can really choke up for some controlled cutting. The ergonomics are fantastic on this knife. Of course they are. It's copying a very well-known, very ergonomic knife. The pocket clip is 4-way positionable. Tip up, tip down, left and right-hand side, and it's also made out of carbon fiber. I'll go ahead and show you guys with the old cutlery lever pocket how this carries. You can see about how much knife will be exposed from the pocket. You can also see our lanyard hole, so you can attach a lanyard to it if you'd like. I personally like having some knife exposed from the pocket. If you plan to zip tie mod this so you can wave it, having a little bit exposed definitely helps for that. So I would call that a positive thing. The weight on this knife, let's go ahead and bring in the scale. And just for fun, just for consistency's sake, we're going to weigh both of these. They should weigh identical amounts. So here's the original one that I got. Wait for the scale to respond. There we go. 4.76 ounces. Now let's weigh the other one. 4.8. So very, very close. I'm just going to go ahead and say, yeah, 4.8 is about right. I would round up either way. I think that's very reasonable for what you're getting in this knife. I mean, you're getting a hell of a lot of knife. Beautiful materials, great fit and finish, excellent blade steel and performance. Yes, I had a quality control issue with this one. Any company can have those. They took care of me. They really did. I mean, hey, you showed us the issue. We know you're not lying. Don't bother with return postage. Just, give us your address. We'll send you a replacement. There you go. Enjoy it. I hope you're happy. That is absolutely fantastic customer service, in my opinion. By the way, there's your blade centering. It's perfect on both of them. As I mentioned, 4-way swappable clip, so it is ambidextrous. And before anyone says, well, compression locks aren't really ambidextrous. Yeah, they really are. I get so sick of explaining to people that lefties are so used to doing things opposite of right-handed people that they really don't notice that it's not made for them. My brother is left-handed. He has used liner locks, frame locks, and he's taking the one that I had a quality control issue from this. Not this one. He wants this one to take as his primary EDC as soon as this video is done because he loves the knife so much. And he's left-handed, and he immediately got to flicking it and playing with it. He's much better at using the compression lock left-handed than I am because that's what he knows. So yes, fully ambidextrous. Again, perfect centering, great fit and finish. How good is that clip, by the way? Obviously, he's not going to catch on anything. Good tension. Could you snap it off? Sure. If you did, you could probably find 1,000 replacements that would fit it. I would bet any Spyderco Shaman clip would fit it just fine. If you had to pay $80 for these, I mean, these are a 9 out of 10. They really are. They outperform even most of what's offered at $90, $80 or $90. At the 40 to 50 price range, oh, this thing is a 10 all day long. No question about it. Just keep in mind what I said about the company. They're doing some shady stuff. And it's up to you where you fall on that morally gray, or maybe to you, not gray at all, kind of situation of buying a knife that is branded exactly what it is, but from a company that is going to be and has a history of producing counterfeit knives for the Chinese market and for the Western market for that matter. And yeah, OK Knives stuff rocks. Their counterfeits are very good. They're very high quality, and that's what's scary. If they were making crappy counterfeits, I would feel better about it, because at least then no one would be able to know the difference. But their quality of their counterfeits is pretty close to on par with this. Their OK Knives branded stuff is a little nicer, but it's not that far off, and that means people could be fooled by them. So, grain of salt, guys. I love the knives. I want to recommend them, and to some people I will, but it's up to you where your morals, where your scruples are going to allow you to stand on this particular issue. For me, M390 in carbon fiber at this price point with a compression lock, I mean, that's a Supersteel. Hope you guys enjoyed.